jump to the sky turns to a rider kick.
Hi everyone, I'm Colonel Garuda, and today we're taking a look at the Star Wars The Black Series Archives Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, the Archives subline is made to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm, and as you can see, the packaging is different compared to Darth Nihilus or The Mandalorian, which I've reviewed in the past. Let's take a closer look. Starting at the top of corner, you got the 50th Lucasfilm logo to celebrate Lucasfilm's 50th anniversary. Got the Star Wars The Black Series logo. On the side here, it says Archive. And on the side here, it says Grand Admiral Thrawn. You got a nice picture of him, ages 4 and up. Now here's where things got interesting. You got the same picture, the Star Wars Black Series logo, and a brief bio about him. Pause and read if you like. But here's where things get really interesting. You get this timeline of all the stuff that came out in Star Wars and Lucasfilm over the years. And right here, they acknowledge Star Wars Legends, which surprised me because Legends is mostly ignored nowadays since Disney bought the Star Wars brand and recanonized everything. And Legends went beyond the 90s, but they only have it set here, so because they have things like Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Rebels, Rogue One, Solo, the infamous sequel trilogy, then you got the prequels here, and then you got the original trilogy and a Lucasfilm logo. And then here you got some text here saying, commemorate the first 50 years of Lucasfilm with figures inspired by the Star Wars animated series. So that's pretty neat. Okay, now that we've finished looking at the packaging, it's time to open this up. I don't really care about preserving this packaging since it's already beaten up. And it's not like you can put it back in the box or anything. So here we go. Oh, there's tape here. I noticed that. Let's see if I can just pull it out. There we go. Okay, and here we have Grand Admiral Thrawn unboxed. And this is a really cool figure. I always loved Thrawn. He's always been my favorite villain in Star Wars, most notably Legends and the Thrawn Trilogy. And if you have not read the Thrawn Trilogy, that is something you must do right away because it's so good, and in my opinion, that's what the sequels should have been about. But for those wondering, I prefer Legends over canon because in my opinion, they did post Return of the Jedi much better than what Disney did. But keep in mind, that's just my opinion. Now, I first heard of the character Thrawn on the internet, but it wasn't until I watched Star Wars Rebels where I got an introduction for the character, and then I read the source material for this character in the Thrawn Trilogy, and he blew my mind. He's not related to the Sith or anything, he's just a really brutal tacticianist, and the way he defeats his enemies is by studying their art, and he learns about their culture, their philosophy, etc. through art, and he even tells this one captain in Heir of the Empire, "Learn about art, Captain. You understand the art of a species, you understand that species." That's just my Thrawn voice impression. I'm not really a voice actor or anything. But there is a fan project going on where, I forget his name, but there is an animated adaptation of Heir of the Empire slowly being made chapter by chapter. And I highly recommend checking it out. It's just really, really good. And it does the story justice. Taking a closer look at Thrawn himself, he's got a really nice head sculpt. Now, there hasn't been any live-action depiction of Thrawn at the time of this recording, but I think this head sculpt is spot on. I like how one of the eyebrows is raised. And he's got some nicely painted black hair. And he has this white uniform. And I really like the color separation on the figure with all these, I guess this is like a badge or something. And he's got some stuff here, and there's no real paint defects that I could find. Maybe little bits that can be brushed off, but nothing major. The The quality of this figure is great. And here he's got a blaster, which we'll take a look at later. I still wish he came with that creature, though. And here we have his boots, which look really shiny and came out pretty well. Even has some nicely detailed wrinkles. Check that out. We got some more detail on the back of his boots. And there you go. Taking a look at Thrawn's only accessory, here we have a nicely detailed blaster. And I just think they did a pretty good job with it. There's just detail everywhere. I don't know the exact name of this particular blaster. I don't even know if Thrawn had this blaster in the Thrawn Trilogy. I don't recall him using a gun. He just sat behind the scenes and did a bunch of crazy stuff with the ships. But it's a really nice looking gun, and the paint reminds me an awful lot of the paint that I used on my Gunpla with this metallic gray. And just to show you, give you an example, here is my gun tank, and I just think the colors they use are a little similar. I mean, this is the paint on this gun, it appears to be a little darker, at least on camera, but it's a very similar color scheme that they used. Thrawn can hold the blaster like so, and I think that looks pretty cool. Now for Thrawn's articulation, he's got a swivel at the head. The arms can rotate 360. They can go out that far. Got a bend at the elbow, rotation at the hands, and they can also go up and down because they're on a hinge. Almost forgot he has a ball joint at the waist. Now the skirt is made out of this rubbery material, which allows him to do an incredible spread. He's got a very tight thigh swivel, double bend at the knees, really tight joints, by the way, and he has a hinge joint at the ankle, and it's very limited, and the ankles can go side to side. Overall, I'd say the posability is average on this guy. He's not really a warrior or anything, so you're not going to put him in any crazy poses unless you really want to, but most of the time you'll probably have him pose like this with some stormtroopers standing by his side. Now for some size comparisons, here we have the Black Series Darth Nihilus, the Black Series The Mandalorian with Beskar armor, and my previous review, the Power Rangers Dino Fury Morpher. And there you have my review on the Star Wars Black Series Archive Grand Admiral Thrawn, and honestly I think he's a pretty cool figure. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side.